So I got a lot of new viewers when I posted my last sketchbook tour, and I decided to film basically my process of making a new drawing in my new sketchbook. I wasn't really in the mood to do new art after the holidays because I took a mini break after finishing my last sketchbook, so when it came down to starting the new one, I didn't really want to draw, so I essentially did a art journal spread about watching the new Spider-Man movie, and then I tried to force myself to draw based on a TikTok trend that I saw. The idea was to draw yourself without any reference and then draw yourself with reference, just to see how different it would look, whether or not you kept the same style or if it just even looks like you in the first place. And I did it, but I didn't really like the one that I actually did with reference, so I decided to redo it. You'd think by now I'd be better at drawing myself, but that is really not the case. I've drawn myself so much, even in the past year. I try to do self-portraits all the time to use myself as reference for lighting and everything. I even do an annual self-portrait of myself for my birthday. I have a time lapse of that up on here from back in September, but there's always something that's a little off and I can never put my finger on it. So even this one isn't perfect, but it's an improvement from the last one. If you hear from my sketchbook tour video, which I think is where I got most of my audience for the past few days, then you may remember that at the start of my last sketchbook, I went through like this little phase where I tried to draw only using my gel pen markers, and then I tried to do that again around when Black Widow came out, and then I kind of stopped doing it because I really only do it when I don't want to work with my markers, but I decided to try to do it this time because I thought that it would trick me into basically focusing on my anatomy instead of like looking at my features so closely, because I think that's where I usually trip up. I also didn't really want to work on this for too long. If I'm correct, I only worked on this for, I would say, like an hour when I filmed it, and then I just edited it the next day because it was supposed to be like a practice sketch for me. And I'm sure you guys would have found it boring if this was a much longer video, because really I kept speeding it up just so you guys could see like the layering process and you wouldn't be just staring at me sketching at this for like an hour. And something that I think I mentioned in my sketchbook tour video is that when I do a sketchbook, I try to like give myself like set goals, or at least something that I want to practice on in my next sketchbook, and I put that at the end of every sketchbook. This year, I'm trying to actually pay attention to that and also give myself like art goals, not necessarily like goals for the year, but like things to really do in my sketchbook to practice. And I think this year I really want to take it like page by page, maybe not focus on spreads as much, but I probably will, because let's face it, I tend to do that. And I already have like a list of ideas of things that I know I will definitely be doing in my sketchbook. Like I have my old sketchbooks, which I just posted last week, I think. And I have like one sketchbook that has a bunch of fairy tale art that I made in high school that I want to redo now that my skills are better. And I know that I have like art that I can redo and master copies to make, but I feel so overwhelmed, I think, because it's the start of the year and I have so many other little goals that I don't know how long I will actually keep the sketchbook. I definitely don't think that the sketchbook will be like my last one, that I finished it in like 1 year. I definitely want to take time on this one. Hopefully. I don't know yet, because that's what I told myself last year. And, we were in a panini and that didn't happen, so. And another one of my goals this year is that I want my sketchbooks to be really organized. I always tell myself that I have sketchbooks for different things, but things tend to like fall wherever they may. Like I'll have one sketchbook that's supposed to just be for thumbnails, but then I'll draw something really big on that one. Or I have a sketchbook that's supposed to be just for color theory, and then I end up practicing anatomy, and I don't want to do that this year. So now that I have a new sketchbook and I have a new big one for like thumbnailing, I really want to focus on keeping everything where it's supposed to go so that I can find it better later. And in case anyone's noticed, this sketchbook is basically the same as my last sketchbooks, except for some reason it has a green tint. I don't think you can really see it that well in the recording, but the pages are green, and I'm trying to figure out how I can work around that. And if you follow me on TikTok, or if you found me because of my last sketchbook video, I think the question I get asked the most is what kind of sketchbooks I use, and I usually try to answer them, but like I get a lot of them, and basically I just want to say like these are not fancy art sketchbooks, and I don't think you need to buy fancy art sketchbooks to have a good sketchbook. The reason I don't always tell people what it is because I don't want to promote any kind of sketchbook, especially not like the ones I'm using right now, because I got them from a theme park. I got them from Universal. The first one I had I used it so much that my mom ended up buying me like 3 more online for like my birthday. And then my friend got me one when she went to the theme park again, like back when I graduated. So I've just been hoarding them. So it's not necessarily that I'm constantly buying this same sketchbook and making a conscious choice to buy this same sketchbook. It's just that I had like them stacked up. And after this one, I have one more and that's it. And I'm probably going to buy a completely different sketchbook after that because, I don't want to support said author anymore, but also because, I'm not actively choosing to only use these sketchbooks. They're gifts basically, and I'm going to keep using them because I don't like to waste anything. As you can probably tell from my sketchbook tours where I put movie ticket stubs and, random string. And the reason that these particular sketchbooks work so well for me is literally just size and paper thickness. If I found another sketchbook around the same size with smooth, thick paper, I would also buy that. So I don't really care about the brand. And I think that's mainly because I mostly just work in, pens, gel pens, markers. So I just need smooth paper, and paper that's like for watercolor won't work for me. If it works for you, then you buy that one. But for the most part, I just want a journal thick paper consistency. In other words, I'm literally just using a journal that you can find at a theme park. There's nothing special about it. You can buy whichever one you want. And also, I think a lot of people think they've been deceived by the idea that there's nothing showing through, and it's because I cover up the things that do bleed. It's not that this paper is so thick that nothing bleeds through it. It's that I prime my papers with paint. I make sure that I have stickers that can cover it up, or I use Posca pens because they generally cover up like the bleed through. So it's not that nothing bleeds through it, it's that I'm covering it up. On a completely unrelated note, however, I have been struggling a lot with having art as a career as of late because, once again, the panini kind of messed with my plans. And so this year, I really want to be focused on that. I want to open up commissions soon. I want to have more stickers in my Etsy shop that people will want to buy that's more general. I don't really want to do fan art for merch for obvious copyright reasons. I have like all these sticky notes on my wall of, future events that hopefully I can attend if the panini doesn't mess things up even further, emails to send, all that good stuff. And while I was working on this, I was watching a video by Little Star Nerd. I will post them up on the bio. I'm sure you've probably seen them on YouTube because they have a ton of followers and they're really good. But she had this whole video about how she wanted full-time benefits from a job that she wasn't working full-time on. And that really it said something to me while I was working and I got really motivated. So this is just me putting it into a video so that I force myself to actually do the things that I wanted to do. So if any of you guys have any ideas for how to start commissions, on what place I should start. Everyone always says Twitter, but I do not have a high Twitter following at all, and I frankly don't understand it. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm the same name as always, at gabydiazortiz, but I warn you, I do not understand Twitter at all, so I don't think that's a good place for me. I've seen some people use Etsy, and I obviously have an Etsy, but I don't understand how commissions on Etsy would work. I don't know if I give them the digital file if they want digital art, or if I should just send like a piece of paper where I did the drawing on, and how I would do that shipping wise. So it's kind of tricky. I don't know. I definitely want to start commissions specifically for like portraits, maybe even pet portraits. I don't know. But I definitely want to do that, and I want to hopefully start by February if I can. And hopefully even before February, because I was literally just thinking about how cute it would be if I got commissions to do things for like Valentine's Day or something. But I just need to figure out the logistics of that. As for Etsy, I've been working on sticker designs for the past few days, and I really, really wanted to have them up by February also, but I don't know if that's going to be plausible because my printer is on the fritz. It magically decided to just stop printing right before Christmas, so I wasn't even able to print out the present I had for my grandparents. I showed them the digital piece. I just didn't get to print it out for them, which kind of sucks. But it's not working, and hopefully we can fix it. We can get a guy to come and fix it, because I don't think we can just buy a new printer right now. Because I have sticker paper here, and that definitely cuts the cost of making stickers for the Etsy instead of sending the file to a printer place and having to pay for a certain amount of stickers. Because I think the problem with that is that it's something that I've gone through before, is that I buy a lot of stickers because it's cheaper, and then I don't sell them, and it's a whole thing, and I don't want to deal with that. I want to be able to print out a few in my home printer and then see how they do before I commit to buying like really pricey stickers. And it kind of sucks right now because I have like a lot of ideas for them, and I know that they would do well, at least for people who like junk journaling, because I've been getting really into it, and I know that sometimes there are stickers in like genres that I want to buy, but I don't, because they're just not as colorful. And I want to be able to facilitate that, but I would need a printer for that. So until then, I won't share the art that I have for that, but I have a lot of ideas, and hopefully I can be able to do that myself. So yeah, in general, I have a lot of ideas, and it's a little overwhelming, but I'm very excited for this year because I really want to focus on having this work for me, because at first, I held off on doing a lot of things because I told myself, hey, when this is all over, then things can go back to normal. And it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. So I have to do that myself. And I think watching all of these videos on YouTube lately of like all these artists and their studio space and how they work from home has been really helpful to me. And hopefully I can really get my butt in gear this year. I also unironically think that social media has helped me grow as an artist in the past year, because I think around the start of 2021, I was feeling really down about my art and nothing was really working for me. And then when I started getting more followers on TikTok, it gave me a lot of confidence to post my art more, and I've seen an exponential growth in followers and in ideas in general, because the art community in all these different places is actually really, really cool. I just need to be able to tap into that, which I think is one of the reasons why I struggle so much with Twitter. I follow so many artists there, but I don't understand when anything is happening. I don't know when the new hashtags come out. I don't know when we plan these things. In general, I don't understand it. But like over on TikTok, I've been able to talk to other artists, and they've given me a lot of good ideas for like how Etsy should work and how I should print my things. I've gotten all these new little labels for when I do ship out stickers that I think are really cute, and I wouldn't have come up with that otherwise, I think. And up on Instagram, I got a lot of new followers too. I think because of my Isabela Madrigal video that I have a time-lapse on here that I posted a little bit of over there, and it's been really helpful, and hopefully I can get even better at that, and maybe that'll lead to more work opportunities. I know I'm babbling a lot in this video. I'm just really excited about the future, basically. I want so many goals to be accomplished this year, and whether or not it's doable, I'm just excited because I feel like I'm finally getting that kick that I needed to really focus on working on that I don't think I had last year. And I know I want to make more content. I know I want to make more stickers for my Etsy shop. I know I want to do commissioned work because freelancing in the industry has been really hard this year for me. I don't really know anyone. I definitely want to focus on that too. But I think for now, I need to work on myself as like a business, as corny as that sounds. And hopefully I can do that. Especially since one of the goals that I have for myself is to really find a way into my local art community instead of focusing so much on the continental US, because I know Puerto Rico has a lot to offer artistically. I just need to be able to find the opening, I guess would be the best way to explain myself. Like maybe I can work on murals and go to festivals. I just need to figure out when they happen. Oh, and watching all those videos by other artists on here, I found really inspirational and really helpful. So if you guys have any recommendations for artists here on YouTube, please send them my way because I would love to see more sketchbook tours, studio tours, tips on commissions and all that, because I think that they're really helpful and I kind of need them right now. In case you noticed from the start of my video, I got a new desk for Christmas that I put in right where my mural is, and I really want to turn that little corner of my room into like my art studio corner. So I love looking at videos of that because it helps me figure out how people stay organized. And look at this little baby notebook that I have. When I got this, it was really cute, but I had absolutely no idea what to do with it because it was so much smaller than what I usually work in. But I decided that since I'm gonna be organized about what goes in what sketchbook, that this little sketchbook is only gonna be so that I can practice hands, feet, and shoes. Because if there's one goal that I have, it is to get better at hands, feet, and shoes, hopefully without so much reference. I'm definitely not one of those artists that says that you can't use reference because that's weird. Obviously, you need it sometimes, but I definitely need to get better at it without having to look at Google for the specific shoe that I'm trying to do at a very specific angle, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out posing and have it be more instinctual, I guess would be the best way to say it. I definitely don't think I'm going to be using it as often as I use like my actual sketchbook. However, I do plan on taking it with me everywhere because it's so small, it literally just fits in my pocket. And this is going to sound probably a little weird if you're not an artist, but I also have a Pinterest board now that's literally just hands, feet, and shoes so that I can practice like how the fingers look at certain angles. But it was definitely hard to find the references that I needed that weren't like drawings, because whenever you type in hands or feet into Pinterest, you don't really get many options that are like real and not a little creepy. I had to look up rings and sandals basically to be able to make the board how I needed it to be, and hopefully I don't regret having that and seeing a bunch of random hands and feet recommended to me. I don't want that. I'm trying to be a more well-rounded artist this year, to say the least, and hopefully I can have more content to share with you guys, and I can force myself to work on all of my goals. I even have a sticky note for like fan art I want to do that's just for me and just for practice, but hopefully I can do all that this year. And I'm also trying to get really into embroidery this year, and I'm trying to carve out time that's just for me to work on that, and maybe someday I can even show you guys stuff that I've been working on. But so far I've only finished like the one hobbit hole. It is my pride and joy, but I really need to get back to that embroidery hoop. The panini did a lot of things to me, but at least it gave me a lot of more time to look on social media for other artists, because I found artists' work that have helped me out this year a lot, and hopefully I can keep doing that. I also really want to know what you guys want to see from me, because I think I mostly just share my sketchbooks because they seem to be the most well-liked thing in pretty much all of my social media. But I also do, I do digital work, I do traditional paintings, I do a lot of crafts. Like, what do you guys want to see more of? And do you want to see it here? And is the video of something like what I'm doing right now something you want to see more of in the future? Because I have a lot of plans art-wise, but I would like to know how you guys want it, I guess, structured. Like, is the talking too much? Because it feels like too much. Or would you rather see me actually do it? The silent time-lapse process videos with background music enough for you guys to be entertained? Because I did see that you guys liked my sketchbook tour where I talked about how I did everything, but I think that's mostly because it was like a full sketchbook, so I don't know what you guys want to hear. I definitely can't do one of those ASMR videos though. I talk a lot to myself. I listen to music and I watch YouTube videos with my free time while I work, and you can probably hear the dog outside, so I don't think that's good. But for the most part, how do you guys want to see it? I say this mostly because I definitely want to film a video after this of the redo of that art that I had from my old sketchbooks that I did back in 2014. I definitely want to film myself doing that, but I want to know how you guys want to see it happen, because I'm really excited about it, but it won't really matter if you guys are like bored. And because, like I said in that old sketchbooks video, I have that one sketchbook that was just fairy tale art, and I definitely want to get into that this year. I want to be able to make content for you guys that it's like separate from all of the stuff I'm doing in my sketchbook, and that is like finished pieces that I definitely want to be able to share with you guys. But how do you guys want to see it happen? And related to that, do you guys want to see me work on the more art journal-y kind of pages that I have in my sketchbook? A lot of people seem to like it, but it's like a lot of silence and me trying to cut paper to size. But I like watching those kinds of videos. I watch a lot of junk journal videos and art journaling videos. And sure, it might not be as work heavy as my illustration or my portraiture, but I have a lot of stickers. Do you guys want to see them? I don't know. I feel like I've asked you guys a lot of questions that you might not even answer, so, you know, feel free to do with that what you will. If you want to answer any of my questions, that's fine, but this is pretty much the end of the video. Like I said, any recommendations or suggestions are welcome, and thanks for watching this and hear me babble.